Hello folks. Well, it was another rough weekend, so I hit the cattle sheds. And as you may have guessed with the title, I brought the Springer, my HW97 M177 caliber. It's running just over 12 foot-pounds as it's on my FAC, and it's kitted out with an MTC 3-12x44 scope. Oh, and guess who I ran into in the way in? Hi big fella. Hope you're well. You behave yourself now. You behave yourself. He's a real sweetheart, isn't he? Then, when I walked into the feeding area, this is what I saw. Starlings everywhere. Now, you can legally shoot starlings here in Northern Ireland, but as soon as I did, they all flew out of every hole and vent they could find, as cattle sheds need good ventilation for the health of the stock, so you just can't lock them out of the place. But I got settled back into my usual spot, and it wasn't long before the jackdaws started coming back in. I'm recording the shot footage through the little ATN Shot Trak, now discontinued, as I know it will stand the recoil from the spring-powered air rifle. Plus, I'm using 177 RWS Superfields, which seem to shoot really well in the rifle. I decided to go forward and lift the bird out of the silage before it got buried, then set it up as a simple decoy to see if it would give the birds more confidence to come in. Then I got cocked, loaded and back into position again, which was a wee bit easier said than done because my mitts still have a full thumb covering, which really makes fiddling with those little 177 pellets and orientating them the right direction to push into the breech somewhat difficult. The farmer had to string the water pipes up high above the cattle to stop them damaging it, which does look a bit untidy, but it's an absolute blessing for me as it keeps the birds high above the cattle for a real safe shot. Unfortunately though, that electrical cable the birds like to sit on is just too high to get a shot at their vitals, and I think they know it, so I have to wait till they either come in or drop down. And drop down it is. That's the first magpie anyway, but the shot spooked another magpie off of the floor, which again sat up in the cable up against the rafters where I couldn't shoot him. He's still sitting there. I think he's sheltering from the rain, which has put the shed into almost total darkness, but I still can't see enough of him to take the shot. Then another jackdaw pops in, but I'm just not quick enough to get the shot off. And Mr. Magpie is still sitting there. I thought for a minute he was going to give me an opportunity, as he started cleaning himself, dipping his head and chest every now and again below the rafters, but unfortunately it never really was for long enough to actually get the shot away. Then another jackdaw came in, which broke the stalemate. Then I went forward for a quick tidy up, because as you can see, if you don't lift the birds, the cattle have a bad habit of burying them in the silage. Then I set up another 1 or 2 shot birds as decoys. My woolly mittens do keep my hands warm, and they do seem to be helping stop the birds seeing my movement, but they do make the gun feel slippy in your hands, which I'm not a big fan of. That was a quick one. Almost didn't catch that in the camera. Ah, they're hard enough to shoot without the pipe they're sitting on swinging from side to side. It was getting late in the day and a good bit darker. So, when the lights came on, I decided somebody was trying to tell me it's time to go home. Quick tidy up before I go and make sure none of the birds are left in the silage. But it was at this point I realised 2 of the birds needed a follow-up shot, but they were both accounted for. I maybe hadn't timed the shot well enough for the way the birds were swinging to and fro on the water pipe. Well, the weekend didn't start too well for me, as I missed a fox on Friday night and I heard it crow on Saturday morning with the centre fires, but at least the air rifle came through for me with a good bit more success that evening. Take care, everybody.